Hi, it's me again, Tony Buglass, Methodist minister, thinking this time about Peter. Peter, the guy that got the nickname of the Big Fisherman. I like Peter. I like the character, I like the story, I like the way in which, well, the reason he got the nickname the Big Fisherman is because the first and the last encounters with Jesus both involved Peter and his crew on a fishing boat. First one, great stuff. They're on Galilee, they're fishing. Jesus comes down to the lake shore to preach. There's a massive crowd, no room for him to stand, so he says, "Can I use your boat?" Set it out a little way from the shore and preach to the crowd gathered on the beach. So far, so good. Then he says to them, "If you just shoot the net over there, you'll make a big catch." Now, the way that Luke tells the story in the Gospel, it's all very polite. Peter says, "Lord, we fished all night and caught nothing, but at your word, we will shoot the net." It's a statement of faith. Yeah, right. I grew up not far from North Shields Fish Quay. I know what fishermen are like. I can imagine this fisherman saying to Jesus, "Right, boss, look, been out all night, we've gotten out, but if you think you know my job better than yours, okay, I'll do it. The unspoken bit is if the net comes up empty, you're going in." Right, well, possibly. And of course, the story goes they shoot the net, it comes up so full of fish that they've got to get help to get it ashore. And Peter says something like, "Depart from me, Lord, I'm a sinner." That sort of feeling when you know you're in the presence of something a heck of a lot bigger than you are. But Jesus doesn't say, "Okay, you get on with your job." He says, "You come and follow me." And Peter becomes a disciple. And of course, over the next couple of years, there's a whole experience, a whole career, a whole sorts of this big guy who's got a big mouth. And sometimes he's got big feet that he puts in it. And sometimes he says the wrong thing. So when Peter's the one who, with a big heart, is the one to say, "Yeah, you're the Messiah, you're the Christ, you're the Son of God." And then a few minutes later, Jesus is talking about he's going to have to go to the cross. And Peter says, "No, no, no, we won't let them do that to you." And Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan." And poor Peter, he's put his foot in it. He said the wrong thing. Fair enough, never mind. Most of the time, he's one of the crowd and he helps them to get it right. And he does get it right until the end, until he follows Jesus to his trial. And when he's challenged, you're one of them, aren't you? He can't do it. Big heart, yeah, but he's a coward. The fear is bigger than he was. No, no, I don't know. I don't know the man. And he denies Jesus 3 times. Then, of course, you've got the death and you've got the resurrection, and Peter is at the tomb and he thinks there's something going on. Then they go to Galilee and they don't know what to do, so they go fishing. And that's the last time he sees Jesus because he's out in the boat and Jesus is on the beach. And young John in the boat says, "Peter, that's the Lord. That's Jesus." And Peter does this daft thing. We think it's hilarious. He puts his jacket on to jump in. Normally, you take your clothes off to jump in. No, Peter takes his coat off, jumps in, swims ashore. He's not going to wait for them to come in. And he gets it. And Jesus already got some fish cooking on a barbecue on the fire, and he makes breakfast for them. And then we get that conversation. Fantastic conversation with Jesus and Peter, and young John following along behind. And Jesus helps Peter to affirm 3 times that he loves him. It's quite deliberate. He sort of helps Peter to cancel out those 3 denials. Peter is where he needs to be. Peter then, after that, from Pentecost onwards, he becomes the big leader. He becomes the one that we see a lot of in the Acts of the Apostles until Luke goes off with Paul and spends a lot of time talking about him. Peter is doing his job. And Peter is a big name in the rest of the church's history. I mean, the Roman Catholic Church say they're built upon him. He's part of our tradition, part of our story. But what's going on? It's wonderful. He's an ordinary guy, a big fella. Like I say, North Shields Fish Quay, there is no way that one of those fishermen would have been so polite to Jesus, but that rough and ready, ordinary working man becomes the leader of the disciples, the leader of the apostles, the big one who took the faith and went to Rome with it. And as far as tradition is concerned, that's where he died for the faith. Crucified, all right, the legend is he was crucified upside down. We don't know that. But the bottom line is, Peter, whatever he got wrong, he got it right where it counted. He really got it right. I like Peter because it comforts me. I get it wrong, don't we all? But just like Jesus helped Peter to get it right, he helps me to get it right, to live for him, to be whatever disciple I can be. Yeah, I like Peter.